It looks crooked. Is it not crooked?
Level.
It's crazy.
This is crooked.
It's so weird. It's like an optical illusion.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 167? 168. Sorry. Episode 168. I'm Sean the Koi Guy here at Coin Market 5:39. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. We just ran a marathon of packing fish for some customers. Let me start over. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sean the Koi Guy. Welcome to episode 168 of Let's Talk Koi. I'm Sean the Koi Guy. We're at 539 Deer Park Avenue, Dix Hills, New York, headquarters of Coin Market. And as I was saying, we had a marathon, an absolute marathon of packing fish this morning. Our friend Chris came in and picked up 3 of his fish that he got in Japan. Finally got his pond ready. He's been working on his pond for a number of months, and it was finally ready. So he picked up his absolutely gorgeous giant Kujaku from Sakamaki. We had this amazing Goshiki from Aoki, and this Sanke. I can't remember where the Sanke came from. It was unbelievable fish. And then a friend George came in and he picked up some fish, and then our other customer Richard came in and he picked up some fish that he got in our auction. We had this amazing auction the other night. I'm not sure if you guys caught it. How many of you guys were able to catch the auction the other night? We did it on Wednesday night. We had a little pre-show at 6:45 p.m. and then we did our auction at 7, and we had a lot of fun. It was, it was a really good time. Right? Did you have a good time? I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was
like working at nights. I miss working at nights.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a nice nighttime show. So it was a bit darker in here. We had the nice neon light was actually shining and you could see it. I am sweating like crazy. Can you grab me that roll of paper towels over there? We actually put just cut a little piece off of that. Just use the what do you call it, cutter. Where was I? I don't remember where I was. So we're talking about a few things, but we had this amazing auction, and we have plenty more coming. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I was saying it is ridiculously hot. We put a shade cloth on the greenhouse. We have 3 air conditioners running in here with the shade cloth, and it's still ridiculously hot. But I was running around. I've changed my clothes. This is the 3rd time I've changed my clothes already this morning. That tells you a little bit about the shape that I'm in right now. I'm working on it. I swear I'm working on that. What am I doing this all for if I can't, if I'm not going to be around to enjoy it, and I have to take better care of myself. So I am working on that. Do we have anyone on?
Yeah, Rachel says good morning, or Rochelle.
Good. It's Rachel.
It's Rachel. Okay, yes.
Hi, Rachel.
And we have 10 people on, but Rachel's the only one that said good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. If you've never been on the show before, welcome. If this is your first time on the show, we appreciate you being here. This is an opportunity. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We will answer any questions we can answer. If I can't answer, I'll let you know that I can't answer them. But this is a great opportunity. If you have questions about anything to do with your ponds, your fish, please take the opportunity and ask. Rachel, did you enjoy the show the other day? The auction. How did you like it? Rachel won a gorgeous Genrin Budo Goromo, a Budo Goromo that I remember when we opened up the bags during our unboxing, everyone was posting, "I want that fish, I want that fish, I want that fish." And I held that fish back, and we were growing it out a bit because I wanted to get a little bit more size on it. And Rachel won that fish, and it was a great win. It was such a great fish.
Rosemary says good morning.
Hi, Rosemary.
He says the auction was fun and moved right along.
Awesome. Yeah, we're trying to, this is really trying to hone our skills in being as efficient as possible, is like trying to make it entertaining. So being entertaining is really important because we want you guys to have fun while you're doing it. But at the same time, we have, it really comes down to the math. We have X amount of fish. We have X amount of time. All right, how many minutes can we apply to each fish in order to get it done in X amount of time? And that's just what it is. So Big C was able to get a countdown clock on there, and that worked out really well. We did have some lag issues, which we think we're going to add a an additional timer. If someone, so normally in an auction, and especially in the Japanese auctions and a lot of the auctions that are online, if someone bids, it's to stop what they call it sniping. In our case, it's really a lag issue. We want to make sure that everyone has a fair chance. If someone bids at the last second, oops, double click on the back trigger. No.
All right, I got it. There you are.
All right. Sorry.
New technology.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe just hold on to it.
Yep, there we go. I'm fighting it. Let it do its job.
All right.
Perfect.
We good?
Yeah, you're
Good. Sorry about that. The camera was. We have this new. What do you call that? We have a new gimbal, and we're just getting used to using it. The gimbal is really more for recording videos than it is for recording live streams, I guess.
Jim, it is not an earthquake.
Yeah, it is not. It is not an earthquake. No. No, we would all be jumping underneath the table here if it was an earthquake. Where was I? Oh, so we were talking about the auction. So we're going to add a little bit of like 30 seconds or a minute. So the Japanese auctions, they add a minute. Anytime someone throws in a number at the last second, they add another minute to the timer. It will potentially add more time to the show. It is what it is. But yeah, we're going to. Why does it keep doing that?
Oh, no.
Maybe just take it off of there.
Yeah, I'm going to hold it by hand.
You just hold on to it, and it is what it is.
Yep.
Do you need to have the power in it? Probably not. Yeah, we're not doing that long of a show, so
exactly.
yeah, we're fine. Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything okay? We're just going to hold the camera, and it's going to be what it's going to be, and we'll mess around with our new technology later. So yeah, we're excited about the auctions. We have another one coming up. We're picking some new fish next week. So we're excited to do that, and we'll announce the new time, and we have lots of really cool plans coming up. I wanted to take some time this morning to talk about the importance of aeration. Now, I did a pre-recorded video of this the other day, but I decided, you know what, I wanted to just go over this because the other guys, it's ridiculously hot out. This is like, I would say this is one of the hottest summers I don't know if it's ever, but is this the record summer of heat? Like, have we like hit like records here? Yeah, I mean, the heat here is ridiculous, and I don't know. It's the water temperatures in the ponds have been super warm in the 80s. We've had some customers actually cooling their ponds down a little bit. So the water has been really warm here. It's just been, especially for a big guy like me, it's been tough for me. I've always said I'd rather be too cold than too hot. So Florida is definitely not the place for me. Robin, my wife, wants to go to Costa Rica, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't have enough clothes in my wardrobe to bring to be able to like change that many times. I'll literally be doing laundry every day. The humidity there would just kill me. I know the answer is, Sean, you're huge, lose some weight, and I'm trying. I am trying. I'm working on it. But it's still tough. Anyway, so what I was getting at is the amount of oxygen in the water when it's warm is much less than it is when it's cooler out, and so aeration is so important. We get customers that come in all the time, and they're like, you know what, I take my aerator and I put it away for the winter. As soon as the winter's over, I put it away, and then I take it out again in the winter. And I'm like, no. Like, the winter for an aerator is the added bonus. So I wanted to talk to you about the importance of aeration, and it's unfortunately what spawned this conversation is I have a customer she's such an amazing customer, and her son, and they pick some amazing fish. And they actually won a couple of the fish in the last, not this auction, the previous auction. They lost power on their pond, and they lost all their fish. And, they didn't have a generator hooked up, unfortunately. And, obviously, having a generator, really helps. But I wanted to talk about the number one, the importance of aeration, and two, the things that you can do in the case of a power failure. So let's jump right into it. So aeration is the most important feature of any ponds. Okay, waterfall will definitely provide aeration. Okay, the water will drop down various drops and it'll churn oxygen into the water. So will a waterfall add oxygen? Absolutely. But we consider, and this everyone has a different opinion, but we consider a waterfall surface oxygen. An aeration system does much more than that. I'm gonna just a little mini version of it. So we'll just stick that there. And we're gonna, this is a weighted diffuser here. I'm gonna stick this right here. Okay, you have your aerator sitting outside the ponds. Okay, it's sending air through an air tube, and this is weighted tubing, and this is a rubber membrane diffuser. Now, I prefer a rubber membrane diffuser over an air stone. I find that air stones get clogged very, very easily. They're fine for a fish tank, but in a pond setting where there's a lot more algal growth, there's a lot more solids in a pond from everything around. You know, I find that they just get clogged up really easy. The nice thing about having a rubber membrane diffuser is if it gets all covered in a slime coat of algae, you could just take a scrubber and scrub it off, and it's like good as new. So I definitely prefer rubber membrane over over an air stone. It's my opinion. Everyone's got their own opinion. I will never tell you guys what you have to do, but I will just advise you what I do and what works best for us. This is Metala's MD7 is a 7-inch air diffuser. So we use these for, aerators that are, 40, anywhere from, 30 to 40 LPM, that's liters per minute. This one aerator will handle about 40 LPM. So if your aerator is more than 40 LPM, 40 liters per minute, if it's a 60 or an 80, you're going to want to do a splitter and then split between more than one in order to get the most out of each of these. So aeration, the benefits of aeration, obviously it provides oxygen for your fish. That's just, a no-brainer. Of course, it provides oxygen for your fish. It also provides oxygen for your beneficial bacteria. That's your nitrifying bacteria that remove the ammonium nitrite from the ponds, as well as your sludge-eating bacteria that break down the debris in your pond. So super, super important. And because of that, it helps with algal growth. Because it's feeding the beneficial bacteria that are breaking down the debris in the pond, you'll have less algal growth because it's breaking down the food source that the algae would be using, these nutrients that they would be using to grow. So it will help with your overall algal growth. Sorry, right, get the towels.
I had more ready to go. We'll fold it up as well.
You are
You're
awesome.
loaded up.
Like ready to go here.
While you're doing that, Travis says good morning, saying New York is subtropical right now.
Good morning, Travis.
Ryan Malone says good morning.
Which Travis is that?
Trav.
Oh, hey, Travis.
Brian Malone says happy Saturday morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Mike McKenna says good morning.
Hi, Mike.
And Jim says he guys fish from the airport. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you got them. Everything's okay. So great.
Syed, who I've never seen on before.
Hi, Syed. How are you?
Says love your show.
Thank you, Syed. Guys, take a look at what Syed's doing. He's watched the show. I don't know if he's ever commented, but please use this opportunity to say hello. Let us know. Is this your first time on the show? If you have any questions, please ask away. Like, we love talking about this stuff. Like, I live, sleep, eat, and breathe this stuff. So, like, if you ever have questions, you need to talk to me, offline about something going on. And I'm not talking about like, your relationships and stuff like that. But I'm talking about, if you have things you want to talk about with your pond or your koi or filtration, text me 516-547-0164. Like, my phone is always on. So although my wife would get very upset if we got calls in the middle of the nights, which we do get all the time. I get calls at like 2 a.m, like hi, can you help me? I have a question about something. But listen, she's like, I don't understand. Like, you're not a doctor. Like, why are you getting calls at 2 o'clock in the morning? Anyway, so we're talking.
Sydney says good morning.
Hi, Sydney. How many people are
17 right now.
17 on.
Going between 22.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you didn't hear, we were talking about a couple of things. We were talking about the auction we had last Wednesday, and if you weren't there, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and we got into a conversation about aeration, and we were just discussing all the reasons for aeration. And one of the reasons we're having this conversation is, unfortunately, one of our customers had lost all their fish in their pond. They lost power and quickly lost all the oxygen, and the fish unfortunately suffocated and passed. So we were talking about the benefits of aeration, and I'll just start over because it was pretty quick. The benefits of aeration: it obviously provides oxygen for your fish, it provides oxygen for your beneficial bacteria, being your sludge-eating bacteria as well as your nitrifying bacteria. Your sludge-eating bacteria is going to break down the debris in your pond, and your nitrifying bacteria is going to remove the ammonia and nitrate, which is the waste created by your fish. So it's super important. It also destratifies the pond. Well, what does destratify mean? It means it's your pond is stratified. Okay, it's in layers, and the aerator will destratify it. So you put this at the bottom, it'll actually mix the low oxygenated water at the bottom of the pond with the higher oxygenated water at the top of the pond. So it'll bring that on the bottom, and it'll bring it up. It creates current and flow, so it'll actually pull debris up from the bottom of the pond to the surface, and then it will push it in a direction. So if you have a skimmer in your pond over here, you got a waterfall over here, you want to take your aerator and you want to put it underneath the waterfalls. I don't like having an aerator in the middle of the ponds. Okay, listen, everyone's got their thing. We even sell aerated bottom drains. I'm not a huge fan of aerated bottom drains, and yes, they'll help pull debris towards. I don't like having aerators in the middle of the ponds. They create surface turbulence in the middle of the pond, and they separate one side of the pond from the other side of the pond. I like to use aerators where they work best for circulation. I keep them opposite the skimmer. Skimmer's over here. I keep it on the left or to the right or underneath the waterfall, and it'll help pull debris up, and it'll help push it towards the waterfall. It's going to create surface turbulence and current. It's going to push it in a direction. So I rather have it underneath or to the left or to the right in dead zones around the waterfall, or put it in a dead zone where you want to get debris out of that area towards the skimmer, because it'll pull that debris up and it'll push it outwards. So, really important. And then the added bonus, guys, is that it keeps a hole in the ice in the wintertime, and it degasses the pond. So that's the added bonus. So don't put your aerator away at the end of winter. It's the most important feature of your ponds, right? Especially when it's warm out. You need to have that extra oxygen in the water. It's so important. Does anyone have any questions about this?
Well, Cheryl says the same thing happened to her a couple of years ago, and it's heartbreaking. I guess she had an aerator go.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Cheryl, is that Cheryl Steele?
It is, yes.
Hi, good morning, Cheryl. Cheryl got some amazing fish, and Cheryl Steele stole a couple of fish. She definitely got some fish at the last couple of seconds in the auction. She picked some amazing fish, so great job, Cheryl. What was I going to say? It's unfortunately all too common. It's something that happens a lot. Listen, generators are expensive. Having a generator is very costly. It's definitely something that it's not something that we can all afford. We have a generator here, so God forbid we lost power here. A generator kicks on and keeps all the aerators running. Super important. It's you have to do it when you can. If you can do it, if you don't have it at your house, let's talk about the things that you can do. God forbid you lost oxygen, you don't have anything. Now this is a little cheat. We used to have a company called Hialeah makes a great battery operated aeration system that goes up to 60 LPM. So it was the largest battery operated aerator like in existence. And we were selling them. We sold a whole bunch of them, but we were getting a 98% return rate because they were all dying. They were made overseas in China. And the first round of them, like the first year we got them, they were great. The second year we got them, I don't know what they tweaked. They did something inside them and they just kept breaking. And so the distributor that was bringing them in from overseas said, you know what, we're done. We're not bringing them in anymore. If you find them online, I wouldn't buy them because they don't last. And you're trying to buy something that's going to be like a lifesaver. and it needs to be dependable. So this is something that needs to be dependable. I was screwing around with one thing. So I happen to be on TikTok, and I know every time I buy stuff on TikTok, Michael yells at me. He's like, "Sean, stop!" Like he's shaking his head right now.
What's wrong with that, Michael?
He's like, "Stop buying stuff on TikTok." So I was buying stuff on TikTok because I don't know, like I'm a little bit addicted to TikTok, and I think these things always pop up, and an inverter came up. An inverter is a way for you to convert electric and run it. An inverter is a way for you to convert your electric usage and use it. You can plug it in various areas. So I saw this inverter plug come up for DeWalt batteries and for Milwaukee batteries. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get one of those. I have a really, really great idea here. So this is the inverter. Now, Milwaukee and DeWalt sell their own inverters. This is the one that I got. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't get this one. This one is a 200 watt. And it works great, but it doesn't actually stay on it. It shuts off after like a period of time, which I don't really understand why it shuts off. It just shuts off after a period of time. So I'm going to try some other ones. But the idea here was sound, which is if you get an inverter, you just take a Milwaukee battery, and this is like a 5.0. Hook the battery up, and look right there. It's got USB, USB-C. And it's got a regular plug in there. So if I just take this plug it in, like in a pinch, you need to get some extra oxygen. Like this thing is great. All right. So sorry that we just had that earthquake again. So, here we go. You got to turn the back to tighten it, I think.
Yep.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. So in a pinch, having one of these is great. Just press the button, and now it's on. Look, you can see this is blown up. There's air coming through here. Here, take this hose out. This is on full, running off my Milwaukee battery. How cool is that? So if you guys have a couple of Milwaukee batteries, or you have a DeWalt setup and you have a whole bunch of DeWalt batteries, get yourself an inverter. Don't get the one off of TikTok that I got, because this one turns off after, I don't know, a period of time. But what I will say is I was able to run this off this battery for almost, I'm going to say it was about 40 minutes. So that was pretty good. And if you have a couple of them around, it could really be a lifesaver. So the idea here is you got this thing, you plug it in, and in a pinch, you got some extra battery life, but you need to have extra batteries and stuff. It's just, guys, it's just an idea on something that could help you. So this is running right now. I'm going to turn it off. But what do you guys think of that idea?
Well, Laura BD.
Hi, Laura.
It's a great idea with the inverter. So
yeah,
there you
go. There are other things you can do. All right, in a pinch, you take your hose, take your garden hose, and you got to put it on spray. All right, and spray it down into the pond. Do not put the hose underwater. Spray that nozzle into the air so any chlorine that's in the water dissipates, but it'll help to oxygenate the pond. All right, just another way of doing things. And at the same time, if you have dechlorinator, put that in there, but you'll oxygenate the pond that way as well. Other things you can do is obviously go pick up a small generator. You can get a small gas generator. You can get a small electric. I think they have electric generators too. Just to have something available. God forbid you lose power, because your fish are not going to be able to live very long. They're going to last a couple of hours. In this heat, a couple of hours before they start dying off. So super, super important. I really wanted to talk about this. If you guys have any questions or any stories regarding this, let's hear them. Anyone ever have any situation like this where they lost power, and what did you do about it? Would love to hear what you have to say.
Real fast, the Cultured Hooligan.
Hi, how are you?
Put it on a tripod. So we did that. He gave us a thumbs up.
Oh, what, the phone?
Yeah. We had it on a tripod.
We had it on a tripod. We had it on. I bought this I bought this DJI gimbal, and we were using that, but it really works better when you're using the software for the DJI gimbal and not with the software we're using to do this recording. So we had to switch off of that, and so yeah.
And Laura BD says she sometimes uses hydrogen peroxide.
Yes, you could use hydrogen peroxide in a pinch as well. That will also add some oxygen to the water.
And Shine asked the question, Shine John, how can
Hi, John, or
maintain a
Shine.
pond in the wintertime? How can it maintain a pond in the wintertime?
So, all right. So super important. So in the winter, you do have more oxygen in the water, but in the wintertime, you want to leave the aerator in the pond. And what we do is we don't leave it at the bottom of the pond. We put it to about a foot below the surface. So you can hang it over the side, or you can put it on a shelf, but you don't want to leave it at the bottom of the pond because it's going to suck cold air from the bottom and send it down to the bottom, basically super cooling the whole pond. Your fish are sitting at the bottom where it's warmest. They're in that torpor state. They're not hibernating. They're not sleeping. They're still awake. And if you move around, they'll actually move, and swim around. But their bodies have slowed down. They're incredibly weak. They're in this torpor state. And you don't want to send that cold air down below. So we raise this above. And what this will do is it'll keep a hole in the ice. All right. And it'll degas the pond, because what's happening in the wintertime is leaves, debris, any kind of waste in the pond, God forbid a fish passes away. If the pond freezes over, these solids will break down and form gases under the ice that will actually poison and kill the fish. So you need to release those gases. Even if, and you'll see this happen, even if you get a dome or ice freezing over, you're putting air underneath the ice. The air will find a way out around the ponds. I promise you. Okay, because we've had customers call us, oh no, like I see it, like there's the bubble, the area where there was a hole is now frozen over. I promise you, air is still getting out around the pond. Okay, so it is still degassing the pond 100%. Anyone who doesn't use an aerator in the pond in the winter is asking for trouble. If it's not this year or last year, or even though it didn't happen in the past, it can happen in the future. So you want to protect yourself. Aeration is the key to success in any pond. Any other questions?
Oh, and Trini Trav says,
Hi.
shade the pond equals cooler pond equals more oxygen.
That is correct. So shading the pond, having the pond in full sun means the water will be warmer and you'll have less oxygen. So shading the pond will definitely help. It'll actually help in a lot of ways. You can shade the ponds in a couple of ways, guys. In a couple of ways, though, guys. I said that a little bit fast. You can shade the pond by having aquatic plants, hyacinth, water lilies. These will help create coverage that will, one, protect your fish from predators, and because they can hide underneath it, and two, it will actually help shade the ponds and make it a little bit cooler. So adding aquatic plants like hyacinth and water lilies, water lettuce will actually help do that. But putting a shade cloth or having some trees over that provide some shade definitely will help.
And Laura says, too cold water can give the koi colds. She's wondering.
I don't know if it's necessarily giving it a cold, but you're super cooling the pond, and the fish get to a point where it's too cold, and then they're going to have you're going to run into other issues. Generally, and I'm not saying that if you leave the aerator down at the bottom, that it's definitely going to hurt your fish. Well, this is a precaution, so that you don't super cool the entire pond. You leave that lower layer where geothermally the earth is heating the pond to an extent, and that's the warmest part of the pond. Geothermally, that area is warmest. You don't want to send that water, that cold air down to the bottom, and literally take that warmer water and mix it with the cooler water and basically make the whole pond one temperature, which is the same reason why you don't salt your pond in the wintertime. Salting your pond in the wintertime will also make your entire pond the same temperature. Yeah. Any other questions?
And Laura also said she added a shade sail over her pond.
Shade sails have become pretty popular in our hobby. You can just go online and find them. It's a little bit complex to put the initial poles up for the shade sail, but once you get those up, they really work great. and I think they're fairly inexpensive. You want to get yourself, listen, this is in the elements. It's going to be in the sun. It's going to be in the rain. It's going to be in the winds. Like, this is something you don't want to, you don't want to be cheap about the shade sail that you get, because you're just going to end up replacing it. So I would try and get a higher quality shade sail. Yeah, you don't want to get something that's only going to last a couple of weeks or a season. You want to get something that's going to last a while. I don't know what the brand names are. If anyone's on that can comment about what shade sail you've been successful with, please share it with the rest of the group. Yeah.
Shine, excuse me. Shine John asks, can I use a floating heater in the winter?
Yeah. So there are lots of de-icers out there. I have moved away from de-icers. You can certainly use a de-icer. This is a great question. My issue with de-icers actually came from the cattle trade, and they used de-icers in the water troughs because the cows are still out in the wintertime. So they use the de-icers in the water troughs to stop the water from freezing, and gives the cows an opportunity to still drink the water. And somewhere along the line, someone had the idea of, hey, all right, let me throw a de-icer in the pond, and we're going to call it a pond de-icer. Initially that all worked until the de-icer got close to the liner and burnt a hole in the liner. And we actually have a couple of customers that have had that issue. So they've now made more protective de-icers. My issues with de-icers are they don't degas the pond. They may keep a hole in the ice, but that's not actually creating the degassing process. Doing the aerator will actually help to degas the ponds. If the de-icer, if it gets too cold or we get too much snow, that de-icer can get that frozen dome right over it, and then it becomes a moot issue. Yes, becomes. I've never really used that word moot, but it becomes a moot issue. So de-icers for me, like I'm okay to use a de-icer, especially if you have a small pond, you don't want to put a giant aerator in. I'm okay to use a de-icer and an aerator in combination. You can have one right next to the other. You can have the aerator right underneath the de-icer. The biggest thing that I would avoid doing is plugging the aerator and the de-icer into the same circuit. Okay. If you plug the de-icer, a lot of times the de-icer will end up popping the breaker at some point during the winter. You don't want to have the aerator and the de-icer in the same circuit, because if it blows the breaker, then you lose your aerator as well. So you want to try and make sure that each one of them is plugged in a different location. Has anyone ever had that issue happen? Because I know that I've definitely seen customers that have tried that. They've put them both in, and the de-icer constantly blows the breaker. And it's not an issue of if, it's an issue of when. It always ends up happening. So yeah, guys, tell us your stories. We want to hear more from you. This is a conversation about aeration. I know that, how many of you guys aren't using aeration or are now considering aeration after this conversation? I'm just curious. Yeah, this is an important subject for me. Anyone can make a pond look nice, all right, but filtration, circulation, aeration, the three most important features of any pond, whether it looks nice or it doesn't look nice. Those three things have to be in place in order for you to have a sustainable pond.
Laura says she uses combo and has had no issues.
Okay. So Laura uses it. So Laura, do you plug the aerator and the de-icer in separately, or do you have them in the same circuit? Just curious. How many people we have on?
2 dozen.
Okay, we got 24 on. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thomas asks an interesting question. Can there ever be too much aeration?
No, I don't find that I do not. To harm the fish. There are other things that they used to use back in the day, like they used to be called a venturi, which could cause other issues. And I forgot the issue that it causes, but someone else could probably answer that question. Venturis are a sign of a technology that was used probably in the 70s and 80s, but they don't get used anymore. And Ventoria is basically, it gets tied into the side of the pond, and you're blowing. I think it's water actually goes through it and actually can create a bubbling effect that aerates the pond. And the Ventoria actually is able to multiply the amount of whatever you're sending through it. So you're sending water through it, it can, whatever you put through it can do like 4 times the amount of power once you send it through the Ventoria. But it's not something that gets used anymore.
Laura says she's on the same circuit.
Yeah. So Laura, the only thing I will never tell you what to do, but I would advise putting both of those on separate circuits if you can in the wintertime, just in case. It's just my experience with it is you're eventually going to have a scenario where you lose power, or the de-icer causes a breaker to pop, and then it'll turn off your aerator too. So I would try and put them on separate circuits. Any other comments about this? Nope. Okay. What else? What else? We could take a quick walk outside. You want to take a walk outside? Yeah. I've cooled off a little bit. I think I brought some water with me. I need something to drink. You could probably just lift up that stick and just take the stick with you.
You know, I mean, you don't see it. You know, once, but I don't.
Were you able to get those waterfalls running?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it unplugged?
Yeah. Hopefully that wasn't on purpose. All right, listen, I thank you. Very welcome back in.
So just showing off some of the aerators. We carry the Aquascape line of aerators. We also carry the Mito line of aerators. Now the Mito line, it's the only linear piston aerator, so it doesn't have a diaphragm. All these other aerators, they do have a diaphragm. Diaphragms can burn out. The linear piston will literally last 6, 7, 8 years without an issue. So everything is like in bloom here. You can see, look at these gorgeous flowers. These are all tropicals I have in this. You got another one coming up right here, but they're just gorgeous. We had a customer or 2 customers came in the other day and literally cleaned us out of all of our. What's going on?
You direct for a bit. I want to bring the mobile hotspot outside.
Okay, just grabbing the mobile hotspot. So we had a customer that came in, 2 customers that came in the other day, and they bought every single water lily that I had. And I was like, oh no, like it is a little bit late in the season to be buying a lot of water lilies, but we were out of everything. So, hey guys. So you can see all the different color water lilies. Got a cool peach water, and that's a hardy lily there. That's another hardy lily. That yellow one there, the purple one there is a tropical. This is a hardy over here on this white one here. I'm going to hand this camera back to Big C. And but come on over to the aquatic plant area. We're going to go say hi to Chris too, because Chris is in today. And why is this off? That's so weird. But so fully restocked on our hardy lilies. These are all hardies up here. I have tropicals over here, but all these tanks were empty. Like I couldn't believe it. Everything sold out, which is just crazy. But take a look at these gorgeous flowers on these tropicals. I always like to have a mix. Because listen, the tropical lilies are much more expensive than the hardy lilies, and the issue there is that they aren't going to come back. So usually I'll do a couple of hardy lilies and then I'll do 1 or 2 tropicals. And the reason why I do the tropicals is because the tropicals have so many more flowers than the hardy lilies do. and they'll bloom constantly once the water is the right temperature. Here, this one right here has got this flower here. It's got another one coming up here. It's got another one coming up right here. They just, every single one of these, you can see this one here. It just had, this one is no more, but here's one here, and there's another one coming up right there. Let's see if there's any more there. But they just bloom like crazy. As long as you fertilize them, they'll bloom like crazy. I mean, look at all these coming up here. They have these gorgeous variegated leaves, and I just like having just at least one tropical in there in the mix of the hardies, because you get so many flowers, and the flowers are gorgeous. We have I have one in one of the bowls up front that has a gorgeous red flower, and it's the only one we have that's that red flower. I got to find out which one it is. I do have a chart here on these. Let me see. Does it want anything come up red, blue? So tropical list. We have one that's called Ruby. Maybe that's the one that's up there, but I don't know. We'll take a look in a second and see if it's blooming. But aren't these flowers gorgeous? Look at this. This one's called Green Smoke is the name of this flower. And, had a couple flowers, got a couple more coming up here. How awesome is this? Anyone giving any comments?
No, not yet.
No comments? And then, how are you? Good to see you.
Yes.
Chris is in there. Good to see you.
Good to see you. When now?
Yes, I'm thinking about it. Look at this one coming up. Look at how thick this is. This is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, they smell. They do smell. They smell really nice. Wow. Very fragrant. I wasn't expecting that. It smells really good. This one here, look at how many are coming up here. Look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's got five flowers are coming up. This is why I love tropical lilies. This one is called a Queen of Siam. It's got 5 flowers. So this is going to have 5 flowers up, all going to be around the same time. How cool is that? You don't get that on the hardy lilies. It just, on the hardy lilies, you'll get 1 or 2 flowers. You can see they do have really nice flowers. I know that there was 1 or 2 that had some flowers up. There's a gorgeous, gorgeous flower coming up right there. You can see it just popping out of the water there. I don't see,
There's a flower back there behind the leaf.
oh, there is?
A big one too.
Where do you see it?
Right there.
Oh, here we go. It's just coming. Look at that flower. This is a hardy lily. So you can see the flower is absolutely gorgeous. Is this a Madame? Yeah, this is a Madame Wilfron Guénère. What a gorgeous flower that is. Really layered. Look at how many layers of there are in that. That's so cool.
We have a couple of them. Gorgeous.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah, so these just came in, so they're getting up to the height of the water that was in this tank. They all came in yesterday. So they're looking really good. Chris has got a customer, so I want to see if the other here, if that red one is up. So here's this water feature here that we did. Need to add a little bit of water here. But here's the yellow flower. Look at this yellow one.
We do have a question from Michael.
This is a hardy, actually.
Michael Bobich writes, what is a good lily fertilizer that's safe for koi?
So there's a whole bunch of them. Aquascape has a great one that they just came out with. And the nice thing about theirs is it's 120 day. It actually comes either in a pill form, which is as soon as it hits the water, it like taking a water soluble capsule, and it disintegrates. You just take the pills. You put two to 3, depending on the size of the pot. On an 8-inch pot, you put 2 of them in. You stick them in there, and they're good for 120 days, which covers the whole season. I have them if you need. There are other ones, the pond tabs, which are fine too. I've been using for years, but the issue with those is that you have to constantly put them into the pot. So if you put them in your pond and it's a couple of feet down, you have to go and pull the pot out and redo it every couple of weeks. It gets a little annoying. But Aquascape did the 120-day one, which really helps. This is a cool plant here. This is called the Juan Visa, and you can actually here's a flower coming up right here. So this flower is two color. See that? I absolutely love these. This is actually our best-selling hardy is the Juan Visa, and you can see a flower coming up right here, and this is going to be both pink and yellow. Pretty cool, right? Oh, I just get excited about these. I mean, these are, water lilies are so cool. I'm a big fan, and you know what? The more stuff of these I put in, the more I get into it. The more I like to put more of this stuff in. Let's go over and take a look at the other ponds. Don't know why that water feature is not on. We'll figure that out. But we're going to walk over to the big pond, and everything is really in bloom. Again, I showed you the flowers last week. Flowers look awesome. But everything is growing really, really nicely. Guys, look at how big this tropical lily got over here. Check this out. I mean, we just planted this pot a couple weeks ago. Look at how big it got. Look at those gorgeous purple flowers in there.
And the koi love it.
I know a lot of you guys, we all have, there's a little baby high-fin shark right there. Can you see? Oh, we just swam down. I never see them. But they doubled in size. They literally doubled in size since I put them in a couple of weeks ago. That's crazy. So the way we do our pots, and Aquascape came out with this new pot, which is awesome. It's a heavy duty pot, and I could show you that inside. We put nice chunky stones like this size. So you see that there? You see these stones here? This is the kind of size of the stones that we put in the pots to protect the plant. And I'll just explain the reason why we do that is the fish love to go and take any rocks that are in the pond, put them in their mouth and suck on them like they're sucking on a gobstopper. And they're sucking all the algae off the stones. And then they'll spit them out and put them somewhere else. So what's going to happen is they're eventually going to move enough rock out of the way in the pot, and then they're going to start digging in the pots, and they're going to uproot the lilies, and then the lilies are done. So you can see I have lots of big fish in here, and we still have all of our water lilies are still perfectly fine in here. They're doing great. That one they dug around in there. I can see there's some dirt that was moved away, so we probably have to put some bigger stones in that pot over there. But if you put bigger stones in the pot, the koi will go, and it's not that they won't eat some plants, but they'll eat around the edges of the plant. You can see that one has the fish were eating around the edges of that plant right there. And then that's it. And they should be okay. I'm not saying they won't do it, but the idea here is that you're protecting the plants from the fish digging into the pots. If they dig into the pots, then the plants are done for. Let's give these guys some food. Here's my secret stash in here.
I wish we could make them up.
We actually sold a few of these fish the other day. The customer came in, they picked a few out. This Kinki Utsuri is going to go to a new home. And the Ginrin Kiyutsuri is going to go to a new home, as well as the Ginrin Goshiki in here. So, yeah.
Christine asks a question. Can't you over fertilize and end up with a string algae bloom?
Sure, you can. I mean, it's all a balance. So when it comes to fertilizing, we're we know exactly how much we should put into each pot. So the instructions on the package say put 2 tabs into each 8-inch bowl. That's what we do. Can you over fertilize and create an algae bloom? Yeah, you definitely can. Sure. So you just got to make sure you don't. You can buy liquid fertilizers and put them in, but that's where you could potentially run into issues. You can see everything in this pond is taking off, and so this is all actually, although there's kind of like a boggy kind of area here, these guys are taking off. The elephant ear back there are going slowly, but then we have other stuff around the pond. You can see the hornwort is just, look at how massive that hornwort is. It's just growing like crazy. The creeping Jenny up top are growing like crazy. They're really doing well. The thalia on the other side, they're in the water, and there's a lot of nutrients in the water. So we're trying to create a balance. You got a lot of fish, you want to have a lot of plants to kind of offset. Is that a blown tire or
Like a blown truck tire, yeah.
Yeah, that might have been what that was. Did you guys hear that? So this is a 495, which is like the busiest road on all of Long Island, I think. My son lives here, in this house right here. So he lives here and he hears that all day and all night. So it does get loud here. My wife stayed here a couple of times babysitting his dog Mila, my granddaughter Mila, and she said that I can't even believe how he sleeps, like, because the cars are just so noisy. Whatever, it is what it is. But pond is looking awesome. This is a fun time talking about aquatic plants. Does anyone have any other questions about aquatic plants? No? 20 people on? We're not going to do fish today, but today I figure we can go and talk to Chris and see how the bonsai stuff is doing. You want to go do that?
Yep.
He may only be able to do a quick hello. We have a couple of things coming up. We have our Japan trips coming up quick. Japan is literally around the corner. We're doing a trip in October, a trip in November, and then we have our Tosai trip, I think around February, March. So in October, we're doing our customer trip. So if you're interested in going, let me know. Text me at 516-547-0164. I will put you on the list. We have room for 6 people, and we will be giving you details so soon. If you're interested in going on this trip, send me a text, 516-547-0164. Let's head this way. And yeah, everything is just looking awesome. Again, I don't know why this pond is off. Do you know why this one's off? So weird. Hey, George. How's everything?
Good. How you
Good
doing?
to see you.
See you, man.
They just came in.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
Yeah, they just came in.
Katie says she wants to go.
Katie, send me a text, 516-547-0164 with all your information, and I'll put you on the list. And then we can send you a breakdown of all the details of the trip. Anyone else on that is interested in going? Send me a text. I don't think Chris is going to be able to talk, but you can see everything is looking really good in here. All of these here, Chris has had these since he was like young. Came from these parents here. He's had them for forever.
Jeremy says hello, has been on in a while, but busy with birds this year.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you? Jeremy, it's okay. It's like, you don't have to see a friend or, talk to a friend in a while to still, know that they're here for you. So we're always here for you. So you guys cannot come back for 2 years and then pop up. It doesn't matter to us. You know, we love that you guys are here. Oh my God, this is a spot right here with the fan. No, 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 stay over here. Don't move. Don't move. I gotta move with the fan. Whew. Chris, I think he's in the back doing something. I think Chris is doing some watering. You can see the tree that Mauro Stemberger worked on is looking amazing. It's going to be, I mean, this is a tree in the making for a bonsai tree in the making for many, many, many years, but it really is starting to take shape, and it looks amazing. One day it'll come out of this box and it'll go into its own custom ceramic bowl, which, you know, we're gonna either have to have custom made or we have to go and find a special bowl for this piece. This is a really special tree. Huge, huge, huge tree. Morning, Chris. Chris is doing a little bit of trimming on some Procumbens. So you can see Chris at work here.
Yes,
So these really hurt when you stick your hands. This is a common tree that's used in bonsai, Procumbens nana. As Chris said, a good beginner tree is, when it comes to watering, than some other trees. Yeah. But it's a really good tree that you're keeping in different styles. And it's great.
These are shaped yet.
Yeah, none of these are shaped yet. So you're going to be using these for classes when we eventually do classes.
Yeah. These guys. It's also too hot right now.
So we're going to be using these for classes.
Yes, we're going to do classes with them.
Yeah, you might have to do the classes inside in the store.
Like today, this is
Yeah.
But I have things that have to get done, so
You don't want to work on them in the heat.
We were packing fish this morning and I was dying. So this is size here. You know, it's funny. So I used to go, so my dad and I would go shopping and we would go to Flower Time. So back in the day, we had Flower Times all over Long Island, and Flower Time would have, they would have a couple of specimen trees, and they would actually have tree like 3 to 4 foot tall Procumbens nanas, Chris, like in tree form.
Can't get those now.
Yeah, like which were like they were. Time he saw one in one of their stores, and he would just go from Flower Time to Flower Time looking for them. He would buy them. But
Landscape.
Procumbens, you know, in the pond world, Procumbens are great on water features. You put them next to a waterfall, and they're going to grow out of the flowing water, and it'll creep its way down into the crevices down the side of a water feature. So I love using them in the landscape around the pond, and they're great ground cover. You can keep them really low, and they'll spread out and cover an area. So I'm a big fan. It is more of an old school 80s, 90s plant, but I still really like using them. Look at this one here. I know I've shown this one before, but this is just a gorgeous tree. And then I love these forests. The forests are doing really well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 feng shui. We got 7 stalks here. This is a dawn redwood. So it's a redwood forest, which is pretty cool. There's a couple of redwood forests. If you guys happen to be interested in any of these trees, you can just send me a text and I'll put you in with Chris. You can text me at 516-547-0164. Here are some other types of forests that Chris has worked on. There's a trident maple forest over here. Looks like it's getting a little burnt out, but check out this redwood here. Look at that. How cool is that? Oh, this is a sequoia. Is this Sequoia? Or
Dawn Redwood.
there's also Dawn Red. So same thing as over here. Very cool.
On the other side, that too.
Oh yeah, so here are some starter ones that he's going to be working on of the Dawn Redwoods. Very cool. So here's some ginkgo trees. Ginkgos make great bonsai. I know he's got ginkgo. He's got a ginkgo inside. Yeah. Ginkgo, just like taking ginkgo, I believe it's the same type of thing as taking a ginkgo biloba. It's from the ginkgo biloba tree. Here's a ginkgo bonsai right here. You know what's cool about the ginkgo trees is like the leaves come from right off the main branch. See that? So here's the main branch, and the ginkgo leaves come from right off of there versus it's spreading out. So they stay kind of thin compared to other styles of trees. And I think that's really it for today. If you guys have any questions about anything, let me know. Thanks again for joining the auction. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, not Twitter. We're not doing Twitter anymore. Sorry. Instagram, TikTok. And if you're interested in going to Japan with us, send me a text. 516-547-0164. We have 6 slots available, and we will give you more information. Send me a text. Let me know if you're interested. We'll get you on the list. Okay. Until next time, guys, thank you. And